Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. Right, hello guys, welcome back to another episode of our Build a Nation save here on Football Manager 24 as the manager of Bdin in Bulgaria. We have reached that time of the season, approximately 2/3 of the way through the season, so we're here to have a look at how we've got on, particularly in the Champions League. Obviously the league's gone really well, let's just put it that way. As has the Champions League. Believe it or not, we've had a cracking season. And we're here today to see exactly how we've got on and take on a live com. So let's go. Right guys, before we go through the highlights, there's just one thing to note. And that is with a transfer going out. And that is the transfer of Dario to Valencia. He has joined them for £7.5 million. He came... Some clubs came in for him. Again, it's the usual story. It unsettled the player, became unhappy, and it started to affect the rest of the team. So we cashed in. We paid £1.1 million for him. Let's be honest, he didn't really perform fantastically well for us. So we'll quite happily accept the £6.5 million from Valencia for the money that they've offered us. So he's gone there, which is fantastic. More money in the coffers. And running through the highlights since you were last here. Of course, last time out we did take on Celtic in the Champions League, but the first league game back was a 3-0 win over Spartak Varna. Ali Marungu, Fernando Baron and Nenad Subic with all the goals in the first half. Next up was an away trip to CSKA Sofia and Marcus Vinicius and Samuel with the only goals of the game. Petrov was sent off for CSKA Sofia, which obviously did make our job a little bit easier, but it was a very, very good performance from Bdin. Next up was a comfortable win over Arkadjali away from home. Samuel getting a hat-trick in this one, which is fantastic for the young Spaniard. Hopefully he keeps on developing the way he is, because he could become a very key player for us in the future. Hamid Barrow 4-0 at home. Samuel again, Ali Marungu and Baba Kampore with the goal. Subic is playing really, really well. I keep saying that I want to replace Subic in the squad, but he keeps playing really well for us, and he's making it very, very difficult for me to replace him. But poor performance from a Barrow point of view. And we backed that fantastic win up with a 5-0 thumping of Belasica away from home. Marcus Vinicius this time with the hat-trick, and then it was Lima and August Prisk. 1-0 victory over Ludogorets Razgrad. August Prisk with the only goal of the game in the 86th minute. It was a very, very even game. Again, Ludogorets not having the best of seasons again this so far this season. They've not really caught up that gap, which we spoke about last time out. They're not. It's not Ludogorets, basically. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're just not playing very well. Continued our winning streak, and this time at the expense of Septembri Sofia. 2-1 win away from home. Marcus Vinicius and Fernando Baron with the goals. And again, Samuel with a hat-trick again. Second hat-trick of the season. This time against Botev Vraka. A little bit closer than I would have liked against Botev Vraka again. Only winning by the one goal. Looking at the match stats, in the end it was comfortable for us. It's disappointing to concede 2 goals from 3 shots on target, though. Koji Sato, obviously probably not going to be best pleased with that himself, but Avramovic has had a shocking game at the central defence in this one. But it's 3 points and it keeps us ticking over. CSK 1948 next, and another win. Fernando Baron with the only goal of the game in the 67th minute. CSK were, looking at the match stats, the better team. We saw more of the ball. They've had more efforts than us, but thankfully we're the ones who put the ball in the back of the net. A 3-0 win over Slavia Sofia. Zawi, Baron and Prisk with the goals. Lima picking up a 10 in this one as a match rating. He's 2 assists, 3 key passes. He's played exceptionally well. Ali Marungu's had possibly the poorest game of all the players, including the fringe players who we've brought off the bench, like Kaufman and Petr Blaha. But it's another win. Continued that winning streak after the winter break. Fernando Baron with the only goal of the game in the 4th minute against Cherno Varna. Our on-loan striker Matthias Perez, who we've already spoke about, he absolutely bangs the goals in for fun. Has had a 5.9 in this game, but he is still scoring loads of goals, 13 in 19 now. Still does have that potential that he could hit. Looking at his polygon, he's not particularly great, particularly when you compare him to somebody like Fernando Baron, and he's only listed as a good Vitória Liga player, but he does score a lot of goals in the FBet League. 2-0 away from home in the next one against Botev Plovdiv. It was Ali Marungu and Zawu again on the score sheet. August Prisk has come off the bench, putting in man of the match performance. Again, another good result. But then we finally lost one. First loss of the season, and it's come on the 25th of February away to Levski Sofia. Campouri and Rusnak with the goals from a Bdin point of view, but Krastev, Farina and Garces with the goals for Levski. We just didn't play very well, to be honest. Bdin has had a shocker. It's took bringing like Rusnak on. No, Rusnak started, but Slobodan and Rengel on to get really any kind of performance out of the boys, and it was a poor performance. But our first loss of the season. Right, now that we're caught up on the league, let's have a quick look at what's happened in the Champions League. Of course, we did beat Celtic. The next game was against Dinamo Zagreb, and we absolutely battered them. Fernando Bdin with a hat-trick, Subic, Vinicius, and Tabi and Barger with the goals. Petaniek did get one back for Dinamo Zagreb, but it's a thumping performance from a Bdin point of view in the Champions League group stage as well. Little old Bdin. And we backed that up against Juventus. We went to the Juventus Stadium in Turin, and we've kept Juve really quiet. Dario and Fernando Bdin with the goals. Yes, they've had more shots in total than us, but we've dominated the ball again. We've hit the target more than they have. They've obviously created more chances than we have, but again, it's a fantastic performance in Europe from Bdin. And we followed that fantastic performance up with a 0-0 against Liverpool. Mighty Liverpool. Adam Patt put in the man of the match performance in this one. Very, very good performance. You know, Liverpool, yes, they were better than us, but again, we've had more of the ball than Liverpool have, which is telling you something. Still, some of their obviously real life players kicking about in Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, both kicking about still. There's Kelleher, the reserve goalkeeper for Liverpool, still kicking about in there as well. Jared Branthwaite, a former Everton player, he switched sides in Merseyside. Trent's still here as well. Trent must be old now, 36. You know, with that passing range that Trent's got. He's lost all of his legs though, but yes, some of these real players still kicking about. But a 0-0 against Liverpool is absolutely fantastic. And this one was a little bit disappointing because this is one that I thought we could win. But Copenhagen were very, very good. And they've had an excellent Champions League campaign so far. They came to the Bdin Stadium, picked up a 1-1 draw. Rengel with the goal for us. That was after Kasper Rasmussen had given Copenhagen the league. Rengel's picked up the man of the match performance. Perhaps played really well again to obviously keep Copenhagen out. But again, dominated the ball in Europe. Some poor performances though. Dario, part of the reason why I decided to shift him on, because he just wasn't really doing it for us. And we've got Baba Campouri sat there who is more than capable of filling the shoes of Dario. So Baba's sort of become the first team player now. Now that Dario's moved on. But yeah, not great against Copenhagen, but it still keeps us ticking over. 2-1 win at the Mestalla against Valencia. Fantastic performance. Dario playing against his future side in this one. Valencia were much better than us in terms of both possession and shots. Possession was fairly even, to be honest. But Bdin and Marcus Vinicius, our South American duo up top, put in the performance, and it showed with the goals. Bdin picking up the man of the match performance as well. And obviously by this time we'd already qualified, but it's where we're going to qualify in the league phase. And this game settled it. This was the difference between us getting into the round of 16 or the knockout round, the playoff again. And like I say, this absolutely sealed it. We've gone to the Camp Nou and won 2-1 against Barcelona. Lamine Yamal with the opening goal in the 45th minute, but Martican and Nenad Subic in the 95th minute for a famous victory for Bdin at the Nou Camp. We kept Adabiega very quiet, our former man. We kept him very, very quiet in terms of his match rating. 6.6. He does bang the goals in for fun. 29 in 39 for Barcelona so far. A couple of real players still kicking about as well. We've got Ronald Araujo, Lamine Yamal, Ansu Fati. So even 11 years into the future, some of the younger players are still kicking about. And this is where we finish after that fantastic result against Barcelona. We finished in 4th place in the league phase. Played 8-1-5, drawn 3, lost none with a positive goal difference of 11. Only behind Man City, Real Madrid and Liverpool, beating the likes of Well, Barcelona, we condemned them to the playoff as opposed to going straight through. Copenhagen in the playoff as well. Juventus, Napoli, PSG. In terms of the nations that we're trying to chase down, which are obviously Turkey and Belgium. I forgot for a minute there. It's Belgium, isn't it? Then there's no Turkish or Belgian teams are qualifying for the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Besiktas in 26th. You've got Club Brugge down there. They have a really poor season from a Club Brugge point of view. They did pick up a win though, which is disappointing. Besiktas picked up 2. Galatasaray also didn't make it through. So that's absolutely fantastic from our point of view, with us finishing up in 4th. Obviously Galatasaray, Besiktas and Club Brugge not having a great season. Right, so as we've just seen there, we've had a cracking run in the Champions League. And as a result, we are straight into the round of 16. As you've seen from the league table there. I was thinking about this earlier today at work, and the positives and the negatives of this, and then I couldn't quite decide. I think positive is we're straight into the round of 16. That's absolutely fantastic. We've had a great run so far in Europe. I think the negatives, though, are we've missed out on £8 million for the knockout round. But then I sort of was weighing it up. Well, the £8 million we've missed out on, we've gained that anyway from winning the games in the league phase. So I think it's a case of 6 and 2 3s. Anyway, we're here for the draw. Hopefully we get a decent draw. We are seeded. Of course, the round of 16 is the furthest we've been in the Champions League. It would be nice to get past that. So let's get into the draw, shall we, guys? I'll click the right button. We'll start the draw. We'll skip it on to speed 3. So we are seeded, which means we'll be first leg away from home. There's quite a few unseeded teams as well, which are quite big, Barcelona in particular. But Atletico Madrid first out. They are drawn at home to Man United, of course, who knocked us out last season at the round of 16 stage. So we've avoided them. Fernando Torres, again, hosting the ceremony. Benfica, drawn at home in the first leg to Liverpool. Interesting game there. Right, who do we want to get in this? I'd settle for Copenhagen or RB Salzburg. They're probably the easier two. Hopefully we get one of those. Inter get RB Salzburg. So we're relying on Copenhagen now, even though we did draw with them in the group stage. Juventus drawn at home to Bdin. We get Juventus in the round of 16. Let's skip to the end then, and we'll have a look at the full draw. So Atletico Madrid against Man United, Benfica, Liverpool, RB Salzburg, Inter, Juve against little old Bdin, PSG, Bayern Munich. What a game that is. Barca, Man City. There's another fantastic proposition of a game there. Copenhagen against Real Madrid, defending champions Real Madrid, and then Napoli against Lille. In terms of our history, we were undefeated against Juve, so that could be, that could be quite good. That really, we possibly could do quite well against Juventus. We've got 1 draw and 1 win so far. Right, in terms of when the game is, guys, it's after the Lokomotiv Plovdiv match. So we're gonna take that on first. And I'll be back and we'll take on both legs of Juventus. So catch up with you guys again in just a minute. Right, guys, we've made it up to the first leg against Juventus. Just a quick update how we got on against Lokomotiv Plovdiv. Struggled a little bit, to be honest. Campiore, Ali Marungu and Fernando Baron with the goals. Campiore also missed a penalty. We could have made it 2-0 inside the first 9 minutes. But we did concede to Lokomotiv Plovdiv as well. Little bit of rotation in the squad. You can see that we've got Stefan Rusnak, who is one of the younger players who I've signed for the club. Currently unhappy because Milan came in for him and I didn't let him go. I want to try and keep hold of these sort of players with 5-star potential. So I've decided to play him a little bit. He has been on loan at Barreau, but for some reason, the 6-month loans, and when they come to renew them, it's not automatically set to can play against own team. So I set it to can play against own team, suggest it. Obviously, they're not paying anything, just they can play against me. And they've cancelled the transfer. I don't know why it keeps happening. There's a few players who've been out on loan earlier on in the season who've come back because that keeps happening. But Stefan Rusnak looks like he's going to be one hell of a player. We signed him for £800,000 from Slovan Bratislava. So he's definitely, for now, a loan farm player. He could become very much a first-team player going forward. In terms of the lineup that we're going to go with for today, it's pretty familiar by now. We've got Adam Papp, Rengel, Avramovic and Tonino Guerrero. Mbarga comes in at right back because we do have an injury to Lima. He's actually been out for quite a while. AORUS is that new anchor in midfield. He's very much a quality player, and he's got 4.5 star potential, so he's definitely staying. Subic, I think, is possibly the weak link, but when you have a look at his match ratings, he's been absolutely fantastic. Campaiore, after the sale of Dario earlier on, Campaiore is now, I'm asking him to step up and become that first team player and try and hit that. I know he's 22 now, but he does have some fantastic attributes to be a playmaker. James Ali Marungu has done me a massive favour, and he's took Bulgaria up as a second nationality, so he is no longer a foreign player. He is wanted though. Chelsea got up to £29.5 million and I rejected it. I kept rejecting it. This keeps flicking between Star FBet Liga player and world class, so that's how good of a player James is. But yeah, I'm hopefully I keep him as long as possible. And then front two of Baron. Baron's had a great season so far, 17 and 26 in all comps. Another quality player that we've got here. I just don't like the fickle part. And then Marcus Vinicius, who's been a little bit of a letdown, 12 and 24 still. Considering he's our record signing, I'd prefer more goals out of him. But yeah, he's doing okay. He is solid for us. So, round of 16 in the Champions League, guys. Away to Juventus. I can't remember what Juventus, the stadium is called for Juventus. It's just called the Juventus Stadium in Turin. That's helpful, isn't it? Yeah, round of 16, the furthest we've ever got in the Champions League. Can we get past it this time? It's Tavares for Juve, and Theatre's just absolutely blazed that over the bar when he was in acres of space. A little bit of a slow start here from a Bdin point of view. It's Gelert on the right hand side, finds Seewald to Samu, to Nino Guerrero, does really well, comes out, meets him, plays it up line towards Baron. Baron looking for Marcus Vinicius, who gets there despite from mistake from Ahmet Yilmaz. And Marcus Vinicius capitalises and gives us the lead in Turin. And that's the way it stays till half time, guys. It's been a very quiet first half. Juve arguably on top. They've had more shots than us, but we've hit the target more. But we've only had those two highlights. One chance for them and one chance for us, but we took our chance, and that is the difference so far. So into the second half, just a couple of updates on the other scores. Copenhagen are beating Real Madrid 2-0 at half time. Napoli are 2-0 up, and Inter are 1-0 up through Makoko. And here we get our first highlight of the second half with an hour gone. It's for Juventus. That's going to be a penalty. Ali Marungu's just stamped on him. It's never a penalty. Never a penalty. Got the ball, man. It's going to be Alvaro Rodriguez to take the penalty. Sends Pap the wrong way. Pulls the tie level. It's very disappointing. It was never in a million years a penalty. Not according to what I saw anyway in the match engine. Marungu did win the ball. Yeah, Juventus have definitely been on top, but don't forget this is the away leg. We've got to go back to Bulgaria. Yeah, Beren's picked up a little bit of an injury, which is unfortunate. We're going to get Samuel on and swap those two around. Samuel's developing quite nicely, and he's having a good season for us so far. He's got 5 starts with 9 goals in the league, which is fantastic. And it's Juventus on the attack again while we were making that substitution. It's Theatre to Dedic on the left-hand side. He's got acres of space. Acres. Are we not tackling him there then? Who was that? Was that Mbarga? Well, just didn't bother. Just didn't bother. There you go, mate. There you go. You crack on, get that crossing, son. He makes a half-assed attempt to get out to him, then sort of, oh, no, there you go, son. You go and get that crossing. You cross it for your striker, and we'll concede a second goal. Find ourselves behind in Turin. It's been coming, though, because Juventus have been the better team. It's a little bit disappointing. We need a big game in Bulgaria now. Real Madrid have got 1 back against Copenhagen. Inter are now 3-0 up against RB Salzburg. Into injury time at the end of the game. There's a couple of minutes left. It's Ahmed Yilmaz for Juve. with this deep free kick. He goes wide out to the right. Gives it straight to Subic. Subic with the ball. Feeds it to Ali Marungu. Marcus Vinicius. Subic again inside the area. Right. It finishes 2-1 to Juve, guys. Which is not that bad. Away in Turin. We can definitely overcome that in Bulgaria. I do have another game in the league in between, though, against Lokomotiv Sofia. There's going to be a lot of rotation for that. Obviously, there's 3 days and then 3 days till the next Juventus game. I'll go and do Lokomotiv Sofia, guys. We'll come back for the second part of the episode, the second live con, where hopefully we can get to the furthest point we've been in the Champions League and get to the quarterfinals. Right, guys, we're back. Just a quick update on what happened in that Lokomotiv Sofia game. It was a 3-1 win. It was a very, very rotated squad. It was Slobodan Rengel, one of our new signings in David Kakatrian, I want to say. He's coming as a deep line playmaker / attacking playmaker for £73,000, the Armenian. He's coming as a loan farm player, but due to, obviously, rotation, he got a start in this game, and he didn't let me down. Played very, very well. And then it was Gassim McNulty, very much a fringe player now at 32 years old. Possibly look to loan him out next season. Get him some first team football. Yeah, he got on the score sheet. So a 3-1 win. Quick update on how the league has gone. Obviously, where we stand now after these 2 games that we've had in today's episode. 25 games gone. We've won 22 of them. We've only lost 1. We're on 68 points. We're 17 points clear of the next team. It's without a doubt our best season in Bulgaria. Ludogorets have had an absolute shocker, though, this season. They've lost 7 games, and they currently find themselves 25 points behind us, which is shocking for Ludogorets. They lost their most recent game in that little break to Ardakar Jali, and it was one of our players, Angel Cardoso, who got on the score sheet. He's got 19 in 24 in the league so far this season. He's having a fantastic season to the point where he's second in the top scorers. Matthias Perez is another one in there, another one of ours at Chernomor Varna, which again is absolutely huge, the amount of goals to score. And Samuel, believe it or not, is our top scorer. Getting into today's game, though, second leg against Juve, we need to overturn that first leg deficit, and it is made more difficult by the fact that Subic, Ali Marungu and Zayu all picked up yellow cards in the first leg and find themselves suspended. So it's the lineup that we're going to have to go with for today. It's going to be Adam Papp. It's going to be Avramovic moving over to the central defender and Barga becoming the libero. Tinino Guerrero, who, by the way, is another one who is not too far away from possibly being able to come Bulgarian as a second nationality, which would help me out again in terms of the foreign rule. I think, no, Lima's next year. Lima's coming back in today despite him not being fit. He does have 5 days left of his injury, but for lack of options, I suppose actually I could do this. I don't think Lima's quite ready to come back. We could do that. So Martican, Tanino Guerrero as the ring back. Gassim McNulty's going to have to be that anchor for today, and Ariel as the left fullback. Danik and Campaori as the 2 midfields, and then Prisk and Marcus Vinicius. And Prisk has to become in because of that injury that Baron picked up in the last game. He's not ready to go. So a little bit of a weakened squad for us for the second leg that we need to overturn. So the biggest European night at this new stadium of ours. It looks not great due to the capacity and the way Football Manager interprets that. It looks like a Vanarama National League stadium in England. I suppose that's just the difference between English football and Bulgarian football. First highlight is for Juventus, though. It's their number 16, which is Ivljevic, I think. It's a free kick. It's not too far away, just over the bar. Right, second highlight. Gela making a challenge there. We get the throw-in on the left-hand side, which is going to be taken by Ariel. Goes long, looking for August Prisk. Pulls back to Danik. Danik with the F. Oh, it's a great save by the goalkeeper. 2 of the fringe players there, Prisk and Danik, combining quite well. You can see the fringe players by their match fitness. Marcus Vinicius finds Danik from the corner. Danik back into the corner, pulls it back for Marcus Vinicius. Surely that's a foul, ref. If that one in the first leg was a foul, then how's that not a foul? Ivelic brings the ball out, comes back to Gelet into Seavold, and that's the end of the highlight. If the one in the first leg by Ali Marungu was a penalty, then how is that not a penalty? All right, Avramovic, just before half-time, we need to get a goal pretty quickly. Garcia McNulty finds Danek. He's got Ariel outside of him. Into Marcus Vinicius. He's hit the post. I think he was offside anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered, but it was still a shocking finish from the Brazilian. And at half-time, it's Juventus are on top, guys. We've got 45 minutes to turn this tie around. Couple of half-time changes. We bring Albert Arnaud on and Samuel for Danek and Marcus Vinicius. Hopefully that can make a little bit of a difference to us, because now we've lost Prisk to injury. And we're short of options. It's going to have to be Stefan Rusnak coming on for his Champions League debut, I believe. With 30 minutes remaining to turn this tie around. Real Madrid looks like they're turning theirs around. 3-0 up at Copenhagen. Lille as well, 5-2 up. Rusnak. Free kick. It's a good effort. It's on target. The goalkeepers... Tony Negrea was pushing too much in there. Come on, guys. Come on. Packed out stadium. Max capacity. And they're in. Paps kept us in it. With 20 minutes remaining. It's going to be the corner for Juventus, though. Towards that near post, and it's headed in by Arthur Theatre. Oh, we're gonna fall at the last hurdle again, guys, aren't we? Well, let's say the last hurdle at the round of 16 again. It's so disappointing. We've played so well throughout the league phase, and to get this far again and not have these two have been shocking. Tonino Guerrero and Barga. Maybe I should have gone with that way round from the start. It's not been a great performance. Campiori's having a poor game as well. We need 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, otherwise it's the end of Europe for another season, guys, which is really, really disappointing. And that looks like it's the way it's going to be, unfortunately. That's quite poor. I'm quite disappointed with that. It is £8.2 million in the bank again, but it's still really disappointing. Prisk's now out for 3 months, but he vows to end his goal drought at the same time. He's he's not having the best of seasons, and Samuel as well has not scored for a little while. It's not great, and the fact that we've been knocked out again at the round of 16 is really, really disappointing. And unfortunately, that's going to draw an end to the live football this season. We'll be back at the end of the season for the live com. Definitely need some squad improvements if we're going to get past that round of 16 and take the club to the next level. Thank you guys for watching this disappointment again, though. But I will see you in the next episode.